Welcome to Numerical Methods with Computer Programming. We are still on the topic of finding the root of a single equation. So, diri punta. We are still given an f of x being equated to 0. Tapos, if this is our graph, ang katong x value na nag-touch din sa ato ang horizontal line, that serve as the root of that equation. So again, we're going to use the iterative numerical solution formula in which the algorithm kay ani. We are given an initial value of our root of the equation. Tapos, it will undergo a certain procedure. Pagkahuman, ang result, kay may muna siyang xk plus 1. This value, mo to siyang i-test kung nakapasa sa given standard. If it does pass, so mo na to automatic ang root sa atong equation. So therefore, in all methods, ang katudyong x raised to k plus 1 ang ato ang basehan. However, if it does not satisfy the given criteria, so mubalik na po to sa sinugdanan and the process kay mupadayon o paikot-ikot lang siya. So, last time, we ended with the Moss and the Newton's method. So, karon diri na po ito sa bisection method. Bisection method also is called as the half interval method. So, when we say half, so Bisaya, katunga. So, diri sa ato ang bisection method kay naatay duha ka initial guesses. We have here your x plus, the other one is x minus. So take note of the definition of your x plus and x minus. When we say x plus, if this value is to be substituted to the function, ang iyang result is greater than 0. So therefore, positive ang value sa ito ang f of x. However, if x negative, if this value is to be substituted to the original function, it will result to less than 0 or negative na value. So again, dili pasabot na x plus kay positive always ang number. Dili po pasabot na x negative, ang iyang value is negative po. Because mo ni ang iyang mga definition. So pareani, if this is our function, this is the curve, ang kaning x plus, kung ato ko nung i-substitute sa original function, mabutang siya ibabaw diri sa tuwang horizontal line. Diba gani, if this is our f of x or kaning y, ang tanan nga gikan diri sa 0 pa sa ka are positive. Tapos, all pod nga gikan diri sa 0 pa down kay negative. Such as this example. If kaning 1.5 is to be substituted to the function, ang iyahang graph kay place above the 0. So, kanina siya diri. However, kaning 0.5, kung i-substitute siya sa function, ang iyahang graph kay napod sa ilalom din sa ato ang 0. So, kanina siya din. So, that muna ang mga definitions sa ito, ang x plus and the x minus. And that is the first step for the bisection method. Secondly is the iterative formula. So, for bisection, fix ang iyahang kaning iterative formula. So, it's always the average lang of katong x plus and the x negative. Unlike in MOS na ikaw pa mangita og sarili mong iterative formula, for bisection, kay automatic ingani na. So, pangitaon lang siya ang average of the two. Pero na din check ka ang himuon, ang kaning imuhang na form kaning xk plus 1, i-substitute na po nimo sa original function. If the answer is greater than 0, pasabot positive siya, ang katong original, tong x plus kay, will now be replaced by xk plus 1. However, if kaning xk plus 1 is to be substituted to the original function, tapos it resulted to a negative value or less than 0, ang katuna po imuhang x minus, mo na po ang pulihan o xk plus 1. The criteria for termination in bisection kay kani. So, meaning, ang kani siya nga value is i-substitute nimo. Murag kanilang ba? Kung i-substitute nimo sa original function, tapos motoy ato ang butangan og standard. Dapat mas less than siya sa given na value. And for that, we have an example. So find the root of the same problem as for the Moss and for the Newton. Pero dinhi, kari na ang atong termination criteria. Tapos still to be rounded to the 6 decimal places. Balik ta sa atong algorithm. It should have a procedure. So ang atong procedure mo na itong iteration formula. Tapos the degree of accuracy mo na itong absolute value of your fx k plus 1. However, wala ta initial guess. Again, initial guess can be given but sometimes ikaw pa ang mangita og kaning initial guess. So, for the bisection, kinahanglan man siya og duha ka initial guess. We have to find your x plus and the x minus. So, para makabalot ta kung unsa ang probable nato na mga initial guesses, kay we have to plot the curve. So, by plotting, kunyari, ato ang x is negative 2. So, this negative 2 is to be substituted to the original function. If the result ang result niya is automatic na your f of x. Same also for negative 1. Substitute this sa original function. Tapos the result is negative 3 and so on and so forth. Tapos, ato siyang i-plot. So, at negative 2, we have 11 na f of x. Your y here represents your f of x and your horizontal here will stand for your x. At negative 1, x is equal to negative 1, your f of x is negative 3. Take note also that for the x-axis, the interval is 1 pero at y-axis it's 5. Pero, di ba, kung ningon tawag x plus, dapat ang graph nato is above the horizontal line. So, kani, ang mga numbers, gikan dinhi padulong dira amo lang ang pwede nato himuon as x plus. Tapos ang katong mga numbers below our horizontal, kani atong horizontal, so ang mga numbers, a value sa x dinhi kay pwede bisag kinsa dira sa ilaha, pwedeng negative 2, negative 1, and so on and so forth. So, kung tahay akong ang magpili, so it would be kung pwedeng at x is equal to 1.5, x plus to siya, kaya ang iyahang curve naman sa ibabaw. And then, my x negative, pwede na akong gamiton kay c, x is equal to 0 because your f of x is below the x-axis. And for that, here are my new x plus and my x negative. Tapos, this is my iteration formula. So, the same as before, we're gonna create a table. Tapos, ang iyahang mga columns kay your k, your x plus, your x minus, your iterative formula. The function, because diba, kani ang atuang palatandaan kung mag-stop na ta or mag-proceed pa. So, your iteration will start at 0, tapos your x plus, initially that is 1.5, tapos your x minus is 0. Iterative formula is kanilang ang i-follow. So, therefore, x plus is 1.5, x minus is 0, and finding the half of that. So, 1.5 plus 0, divide by 2, that is 0.75. So, just copy. This is 0.75. Tapos, this value, xk plus 1, kay i-substitute ko sa function. Again, we call that our function is x cubed plus x, so 0.75 cubed plus 0.75 minus 1. Still, 6 decimal places rounded off, so this is 0.171875. 1875. Tapos, finding the absolute value. So, positive naman siya automatic. Just copy lang. So, palihara na siya din. So, we have 0.171875. So, the remarks, still this is greater than 0.01. So, we will proceed to the next iteration. So, 1 na ni. Tapos, kung kinsay pulihan sa ilahang duha, mag-agad din sa f of x, k plus 1, katong wala pa naka-absolute. So, this is positive. So, therefore, your x plus here will be replaced by xk plus 1. So, ibutang siya din because again, your f f of xk plus 1 is positive. So, instead of 1.5, mahimo na siyang 0.75. Ang katong isa na value nga wala mapulihi kay katong iyahang original kay just copy lang. Tapos, repeat the process to have your xk plus 1 in which kanina iteration formula is to be followed. So, that is 0.75 plus 0 divided by 2. So, we have here 0.375. And then, proceed with substituting these values sa ato ang original function. So, again, recall your function is x cubed. So, we have 0.375 cubed plus 0.375 minus 1. Ang result, according to my calculator, is negative 0.5722. Sorry for the sulat, kay lisod magsulat. 2266. 66. Pero dinhi, it should be absolute value. So, ang kaning negative, dapat pag-abot dinhi kay wala na. So, that would be 0.57. That na lang na ako. Class, kay murag lisod yun siya magsulat. But still, this is greater than 0.001. So, therefore, another iteration. Pero dinhi of the two, kung kinsay i-replace, again, mag-agad or magdepende sa unsay result ani niya. At this moment, it's negative 0.5722, so that is less than 0. Therefore, your x negative here will be replaced by xk plus 1. So, ibutang dinhi. So, we have 0.375. Ang katong isa, na wala na pulihi, of course, kung sa itong iyahang latest value ang atong i-copy. So, di na tayo mabalik pa sa original because it has its current value already. Tapos, we have now the new x plus and x negative. To find this value, just always use lang this formula. Tapos, we will continue until ma-meet na to ang iyahang criteria na dapat less than 0.001. If we're gonna continue this one, the solution, we will come up with this result. So, with this, our answer is kana itong tanawon, the x raised to k plus 1. And according to the pattern, this is the time in which na follow nato ang certain condition. That is, it should be less than 0.001. So, therefore, our answer is kani. When it turns to kung kapila na iteration, take note that we started at 0. So, kung mag-count ta, this will be our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, we ended at the 9th iteration. So, basically, we have here a formula of k plus 1. Pareane. So, therefore, that is x raised to 8 plus 1. So, we have at 9th iteration, our answer is kani. So, this is 0.68, 26, and 18. And this is the root of our equation. Next to that one, ato na lang isahon is the second method. Because second method and bisection method has the same procedure. They just differ with the iteration formula. Kung sa itong gihimo with bisection, maupoy himuon daari. So, what is secant? Si tangent is a line that touches the curve at exactly one point. Pero si secant, it is a line that touches a curve kanang kaduha. Tapos, ang concept ni second method is that dito bitaw sa ato ang Newton's method. Diba? At Newton's method, the iterative formula for the next value is equal to katong former minus the function over the derivative of that function. However, there are instances that the derivative of the function is mas komplikado sa original na function. So, para maiwasan na, ang ginagamit nila is the second method in which they're using the difference formula na gipuli nila or gi-replace nila into the derivative of that function. So, basically, if we're gonna replace katong f prime or the first derivative sa inyong newtons, so katni, pulihan nimo og this one, ang iyahang maging result is actually kani. Pero naay another kaning sa tawag explanation pag abot ni second. So that is by kaning similar triangle. Parehasan ni tangent theta kung diri ko magkuha og theta kani. So that would be this one. So f of x over kani. So this one. So f of x kani si f of x over the difference of x plus minus and xk plus 1. So, basically, this one. Pero, di ba, ang kanisya na angle here is the same angle as diri. So, kung diri po kumukuha, we have kani. This one minus this one, which is kani. Function ni x plus minus x minus over kani silang duha. So, we have x plus of x minus. So, basically, kaning dako nga triangle, tangent ana is this one. Pero ang kaning gamay nga triangle diri sa ibaw is kani. Kung ako na siyang i-equate, so equating. So, this one, tapos diri. Tapos ako ato na siyang rearrange in a way nga kani, ibutang ko sa ibabaw, i-cross multiply. So, kani, mato sa ilalom, kani siya kamo. Balhin din pero namon siya kuyog na x plus. Kung akong x plus, ibalin ako sa pika, ay kani, minus xk plus 1. Kung akong siya ibalin sa pika, so positive. Tapos x plus din hitas ang katong kabugan, katong daghan. Kung ibalin sa pika. So anyways, the result is this one. You can do that. Pwede ninyo ni siyang i-manipulate to check whether kung maubag yun ni ang original na kaning result. Please don't be confused with the placement of your subscript or the superscript. Anyways, they are the same. Just like this one. I put it sa upper, so hindi mo siyang superscript, pero pag-abutin, hindi mo siyang subscript. But again, pwede, okay ra gid na siya. Pwede gani nga ang kaning plus ibutang na ko din hitas ang k pwede sa ilalom. Okay ra na siya. I had written that in the sim. So for example, the same example that I use with the bisection, actually parehas lang silang tanan. Pero dinhi ang katong initial guesses kay gibutang na nako daan. So we have x plus being 1.5 and then x minus being equal to 0. The criteria for termination is the same. So the same table, ang ilalang nagkalahi jud entirely is the iterative formula. So we have x plus 1.5 and your x minus is equal to 0. So again, your iteration will start at 0, x plus just copy and the 0. So your xk plus 1 here, using this formula. Pasabot aning x plus, unya ibutang sa function, meaning balik ta sa original na function, which is, sa geto, your f of x is equal ni x cubed plus x minus 1. So, pasabot aning x plus, unya gikulong, ibutang ag f sa gawas, ang tanang mga plus dinhi, kay pulihan nimo og 1.5. So, para kani pa lang, this is equivalent na to 1.5 cube tapos plus 1.5 minus 1. Kani pa lang na siya. Ang kaning x plus dinhi kay pareha raman. Pero kaning x minus dinhi kay kani na pong 0 raised to cube plus 0 minus 1. So, ang disadvantage lang po of second is that dako kaya ang space na kailangan i-typing sa calculator. Pero si second kay as experience kay mas gamay ang iyang iteration than the bisection. So sige, get a calculator and let's type in the kaning value. So x plus, so this is 1.5 minus the function kani. So that is 1.5 cube plus 1.5 minus 1 times x plus minus x minus. So 1.5 minus 0 over the difference between the function na x plus. So that is 1.5 cube plus 1.5 minus 1 minus x minus, minus the function of x minus. So that is 0 cube plus 0 minus 1. So our answer is in 6 decimal places na round off. So we have 0.307692. Tapos, this value is again to substitute sa original function. So we have, double check sa na ako, 0.307692. So we have 0.307692 cube plus 0.307692 minus 1. As a result, we have negative 0.66311 So finding the absolute value, so tanggalon lang si negative, so we have 0.663177. So remarks, this is still greater than 0.01. 0.001. So, since greater pa siya, we will create another iteration of the two, which is to be replaced by xk plus 1. Ang atong tanawon is kaning f of x. Your f of x is negative, so therefore your x negative here will be replaced by the xk plus 1 value. So we have here 0.3076 92. Ang isa kay i-retain lang nato ang iyahang value. Tapos ang kanina pong silang duha will now serve as our new x plus and the x minus. Repeat the procedure, xk plus 1 using this formula. Tapos your x plus, pulihan og 1.5. Your x minus is to be replaced by kaning 0.307692. Repeat the process and continue the process until ma-achieve ang condition nga dapat your x k plus 1 na absolute must be less than 0.001. So, dapat maing-ani na siya. And continue that one to know kung unsa ang roots sa atong equation. If we're gonna continue, this is the result. So, kani sila diri still greater. Again, when we say 0.001, ay dapat na ay tulo ka 0 before sa 1. So, kani, tulo ka 0 before sa 9. This is already less than 0.001. So, therefore, this is our answer. And this is the root. Tapos, kung ato siyang i-check ha, since this is negative, so ang negative po din ang pulihan og new value. Ang ipuli kay kaning xk plus 1. Pag-abot sa next iteration, negative gyapon. So therefore, ang kaning x negative gyapon ang pulihan og kaning xk plus 1. Pero it so happen na in here, all functions, once I substituted the xk plus 1 are all negative. So, tanan po din ang napulihan og negative. Pero, dili tanang cases ingani po. So, if again, the question is, kanusa nahitabo that the solution kay nakuha or the root is nakuha. So again, using this formula, we have x. At this time, your k is at 10. So 10 plus 1. So therefore, we come up with x 11th iteration. So again, using the same problem with the bisection, pero the solution is through second method, the root of our equation is at 0.681938. So that's all for the bisection and the secant. If you have questions, you can write that in the sim, katubitong question and answer, so that pag-abot sa to virtual meeting again, kaya pwede ninyo siya erase. Pero actually, you can message me just like some of your classmates are doing. Thank you!